Hey, what's going on guys, Garden Shed here and welcome! Now before we go to the garage section, I just want to say this video isn't like what's the bike like to ride. I've done videos in the past, I've done update videos, etc. This is really what's happened in the last year, what are my thoughts on the bike after 2 years of ownership. You know, how's it faring against the time. You know, if you want to know what the suspension's like or how the engine feels, for example, then probably better off watching one of my other reviews on it where I go through that, whereas this is more about the ownership experience of it. So what we're quickly going to do is we're going to switch to the garage and I'll run through a few of the bits, sort of the overall condition of the bike, so you can have a look, because it's a bit hard to do with a helmet camera.
So as you can see, it's now done 12,274 miles in 2 years. Now 11,000 of those were last year. Due to coronavirus, I've only done 1,680 this year, so one of those things. But overall, the bike is in pretty good nick, and a dealer checked over it the other week. It looks absolutely stunning for the mileage and the age, which I'm really pleased about, but there are a few little things that I have noticed. So if I open up the fuel tank, don't know if you can see, there's rust all around there, and that little hole keeps rusting up. And it's not draining, so every time I wash it I'm having to stick a towel in there to try and clean it, which less than ideal. I don't think it's to do with the Givi tank crane. I think it's that gap around there that's causing it, and water getting in, so not overly impressed with that. Overall though, doing really well. You know, a lot of people, especially with the spoke wheels, have complained about rust on the wheels. I haven't really got any. There's a little bit starting to appear around the brake discs. And again, it's quite common on this series of model. I don't know if they used sort of bad fixings or something like that. Engine's still really tidy. One thing I have noticed is down here. So as you can see, just there, all the powder coating is starting to come off, and it's rusting underneath. So really not impressed with that. But I've spoken to Suzuki dealer. I'm going to see if I can claim for this under warranty. Unfortunately, it's now out of its 2 years warranty by about 2 weeks. So they're going to speak to them and find out, see what we can do. Still on the original changes and sprockets, the Scott oiler I've fitted, so I've got the E-system with the little dial up there, has been absolutely amazing, and I'm having to do the chain tension about once every 2,500 miles, which previously it was about every 800 miles or so. So that's been going really well. I have noticed some of the bolts on the pannier rails starting to corrode a little bit. But other than that, I think we're all okay. All in all, there's a bit of tarnish starting here, and the sump guard as well. It's just tarnishing, but I think that's just the finish and bits hitting it and stuff like that. The exhaust is doing all right. I think that's more mud than rust. Just down, can't get the camera in, just there. It's starting to rust a little bit there. It has got much lighter in colour. Apparently a coating of WD-40 can darken it, but I'm pretty sure that will just burn off. Anyway, I'll get on the road in a bit and we'll go through the rest of my thoughts.
2 years on the V-Strom. Now, as I said, obviously this year I haven't done a huge amount of riding, but when I have been riding, I've been riding much more with a pillion. Not a year of high miles, but as I say, you know, I've noticed certain different things with the V-Strom. But that's one of the things I love about this bike, the adjustable preload. So I know if I got a top box on or off, reduce it by 2 clicks. 6 clicks for a passenger, 7 clicks for full luggage touring. So it is really useful. I've been really making the most of that over the last year or so. You know, the Suzuki Easy Start never fails to start it, averaging 68 miles to the gallon on this tank of fuel. So I think overall over the lifespan of the bike, sorry, in this service interval, 68 miles to the gallon. Over the sort of average life of the bike, I've been averaging about 63.8, I think. I checked my app before I set off. I think it was about 63.8 miles to the gallon. It had its big service of earlier in the spring. That was £460, and that's valve timings and everything. Main dealer price. So not too bad considering I think the Tiger I was looking at Tiger 900s, and the big service cost for them is about 800 quid. But I've done everything to this that I want to do. I don't really want a loud exhaust on it, you know, and I've toyed with the idea over the years. But I'm actually happy with the sound it makes. I can hear it. Now, I've still got on the Bridgestone A41s, and to be honest, I'm just going to go the same again. They're a cracking tyre for road riding. Much better than the early trail wings that the earlier generations of this had, and also I think a little bit better than the Bridgestone A40s, which is what this had. I think the tyres on this, the Bridgestone A41, fantastic tyre for this bike, nice and grippy in all conditions. Not really had any tyre slip, anything like that. Of course, if you gun it in the rain, the traction control's going to kick in. You know, it tours well, it's fun on a twisty road, it's comfortable, it's economical, it's cheap to run, and I love this motor. I mean, I adore the SV650, and they have just done such a good job on these 650 engines. They're lovely, lovely bikes to ride. It's just the engine braking. You barely have to use the brakes at all. In fact, I never really do use the brakes, so I'm still on my original set of brake pads. Oh, thinking of brakes, I did have one issue with the rear brake where it stopped working, but that was dealer error after the big service. They took the brakes apart and didn't put enough copper grease in. So, yeah, that was dealer error, but that's sort of the only issue I've really had with this, apart from the rust down by the foot peg. Yeah, overall, I haven't really noticed a decrease in anything. The bike doesn't feel any more worn. You know, it still feels bang tight. There's no sort of snap at the throttle response. As soon as you twist it, it's there. The brakes are the same. Gearbox still feels nice. You know, I am really impressed with it, and I think as a middleweight tourer, it is a brilliant bike. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching, and take care.